So this is obviously the SSL board. And the reason it's called the Matrix is because we can insert classic analog outboard gear onto any one of these channels through software. So instead of having to patch something in the patch bay and then maybe forget about how you patched what piece of equipment in here, we can do it through software and treat it kind of like a software plugin. So there's two ways of doing that. One way is to come up to the Matrix remote, go over to the Insert Matrix tab here, and we have these 4 channels here and then a mix, and I can insert any of this hardware EQ compressors or EQs directly onto any of these channels. So if I want to put like the DBX compressor on this vocal, I can do that. If I want to do the EQ1 on the keys, I can do that. And I can put whatever I want. And you can also stack this stuff. So if I want to put a drummer, which is another compressor there, I can do that. So, and to remove them, I can just right click on them and remove drummer channel, things like that. But a better way to do it, I think, is from the mixing board itself. So if we switch to the mixing board, if I go to this area here, which is V-Pots, if I go to V-Solo, I can see all the outboard gear that we have available to us. Everything that's lit up means it's not being used. Everything that's has its lights out means it's being used. And we can see in the scribble strip here that these 2 EQs and this compressor are already on these slots. I can recover them or clear these slots by just holding down the button, and eventually this will light up. And the same thing with this one, and then this one too. If I want to insert it from here, it's really easy. I can just say put it on the keys, and I can put that one on the keys. I can put this one there, and again, you just get it off by taking them off there just by holding these buttons down. So a couple things I need to do before we're ready to go, and I need to be able to hear these things, obviously. And a couple of nice tricks that we can use the board for is we can set all these channels up to unity gain really quickly by going to the SSL button, going to miscellaneous, and making sure that all our channels, in this case all 8 channels, are selected. And then if I just hit 0 dB, I can go to unity. I can also go off that way, but I want to go to unity. And then also, this is a stereo pair, mix left, mix right. So I want to pan them, obviously. But it would be nice if the faders were locked together or linked together. So if I go over to links here, and I just select these 2, now these 2 faders will be linked together, and I don't have to worry about trying to match their volumes because they'll always be linked. Let's go back up here and get everyone up to unity again. So we also want to make sure that everyone is on the mix bus. So these are all selected. Let's go over to the master channel strip, put them onto the mix bus. Let's go to the mix master, up to unity, and let's monitor this. So I'm going to take this down and hit play. If the only sun shining for me now. Okay, so I guess I'm ready to go. We're doing 3 of these. We're doing the context EQ. So this is with that. We've done all 3 of these in class with software, but now we're going to use this classic analog hardware EQs and compressors that a lot of people say, can't be emulated in the software. So you're going to cut away some of the low mid-range, an EQ here, and then on this one we're going to get the kick and bass to kind of gel a little better. So we're going to do complementary EQ. You're going to boost and cut here and do some complementary boosts and cuts on this one so they fit a little better. And then this one, of course, we're going to compress the vocal, and we're going to use a DBX 160A in this case. And so the way we insert that, as I've already said, but I'm going to come over here to the V-Pot thing, V-Solo. I'm going to choose the vocal track I'm interested in, so vocal channel. And then I'm going to go over to DBX and drop that in. And then to actually activate it so we can hear the signal flow, I'm going to hit the insert button up here. And so now we're going to actually hear the DBX 160A. And so I've already set that up, but you'll have to play around with the settings to get the compression you like. And then the question arises, well, okay, let's say it sounds awesome. How can I get that sound? Like, let's say I only have a couple hours in the studio. I'm not going to be able to finish mixing here. How can I get that sound, go away with it and mix it somewhere else, or mix it at home, and still have that sound of the hardware EQ or compressor? And the way we do that is we're going to print the sound now on a separate track. So we're going to keep this one, but we're going to make a new track. So new, and we're going to make it a mono audio track. And I'm going to call this Vox Comp, and used DBX160A. And to make this actually work, we need to make sure that the input is the same as this channel here. So it's channel 4. So I want to make sure I'm using matrix 4. And then I'm going to, for right now, I'm going to mute this track, and I'm going to put it in record. And the reason I'm muting it is because otherwise we'd be hearing it twice, and that would be kind of confusing. So I'm going to hold down the record button, hit play, and record this.
You say you love me, but you won't come down. Stay.
Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to take it out of record ready. I'm going to take the mute off. We don't want to hear both of these tracks at the same time, so I am going to clip mute this one. And so if I right click, or I select it first and then right click on it, I can come down here to mute clip. And so that way we won't hear this one and that one at the same time. You could mute it here, but a lot of times these can get unintentionally unmuted, and then it would be super confusing to hear both of them. You might want to also update the memory location. So I'm going to hold down my control key and do that. And so go ahead and do that for the compression, but also do it to these EQ and print the tracks, the processed tracks.